Hi, and welcome to New England Pride TV.
Tune in, show us you've got New England pride. Show us you've got New England pride. Stand up, shout out, show us you got New England pride. Show us you've got New England pride. New England pride.
Hey kids, we're back and we're with Tai Laurence Clark, who is a pioneer and an inspiration to a lot of people, including me. First of all, welcome to New England Pride TV.
Thank you for having me.
Now let's start from the beginning. I've known you for a couple of years. And you have done so many inspirational, wonderful things. Let's start our viewers off first with your transition story.
Okay. Well, I came out as a transgender man at the age of 50, and that was about 2.5 years ago.
So you came out as a transgender man at the age of 50, which is not the norm, correct?
Correct. Usually, guys come out usually in their 20s, and sometimes they know when they're young little kids, but I didn't have that realization. I knew something was off, not quite right, but I wasn't sure what it was.
And how did you find your way?
Well, I just had this light bulb moment. My wife actually runs an LGBT group at her job, and it just kind of got the thought in my head, and I thought, well, don't all lesbians want beards? You know, don't all lesbians want deep voices? You know, I don't like my chest. Well, wow, I'm transgender.
I'm not who I am supposed to be.
Right.
And you went on YouTube and started searching for people like yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I went on YouTube and I started doing all kinds of research, and I tried to find guys like me who were about my age, and I couldn't find anyone. So I decided that once I started my transition, I would document my journey to help someone else. And so I did that.
And you started that 2 years ago?
Yeah, but 2.5 years ago.
When did you start it? When you just were starting to go through it, or when you started your surgery, or?
I came out in January of 2015, and I started videotaping in, well, 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later.
Yeah, so it was before I was on testosterone or anything. So I started my journey. I started videotaping.
You became a beacon for people who were probably in need of the information you were looking for.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And from that, you've also created, I don't want to call it a foundation, but you do these amazing giveaways that I'm just learning about.
Yes, I have a website called transgendervisibilitymatters.com, and I have binder giveaways.
Now, first of all, there's viewers watching who don't even know what a binder is.
Okay, a binder is something that will basically flatten out your chest.
After surgery or
pre-surgery?
Pre-surgery.
Yes. So you actually, they push them down, push them to the side, and you present male.
You present yourself as a male that way.
Yes.
Now, is that painful?
It is painful.
Okay.
Yes, it's very painful. And
are there some that are less painful, or does it matter on the tightness that you do?
There's some that are less painful, but all in all, binders aren't comfortable at all, and it's really sad. But people do what they have to do. A lot of people use ACE bandages, which is very dangerous.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that? Because I know a couple of people who have used ACE bandages.
Yeah, but it can cut through your skin. It can actually break your ribs.
Okay, you're binding that tight.
That tightly, yes.
Okay, wow.
So it's really important to buy a decent binder.
Right. And you're helping people with that. You're giving away binders?
Yes. When I had my top surgery, I decided to give away my binders, and then
which was just a wonderful thought to begin with.
Well,
so thank you for that.
Yeah.
You immediately started giving back.
Yeah, and I realized that so many people came forth and they were like, I need one, I need one. So I decided to do have binder giveaways out of my own pocket.
Out of your own pocket.
Yes. And on my YouTube channel, I would do those monthly. And all of a sudden, it was like people were paying back. So they would contact me on Facebook, and they would say, you know, can I give you my binder so you can give it to someone?
Oh.
And so binders started coming in, and I was able to donate binders to third world countries like Africa, India, the Philippines.
That's phenomenal.
Even Germany.
Now, there's also other prosthetics that you also give away.
Yes.
Which help people. Now, what are those are called Packers?
Yes, I have a Packer giveaway, and that is basically a prosthetic that you put in your pants to make it look like you have a penis.
Which I need.
Okay.
But I didn't even know what a Packer was until I saw you on Facebook, I think, giving away. It was a Packer giveaway.
Yes.
And I had no idea what it was, so thank you for teaching me also.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I partner up with a company called Transwear, and they actually donate the Packer.
Oh,
I
that
do
is so
the
nice.
video.
Yeah.
So and we've done that for about 6 months now.
Fantastic.
So,
and that's
yeah.
all on your YouTube channel?
That's all on my YouTube channel.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And your website. Let's talk about your website.
Yes.
We have a few minutes left, so I want to. You support artists, musicians, the transgender community.
Yes, it's on my website. There's a little tab, and it's called the B Cup Project, and we We do letter writing for prisoners. We send out Christmas cards for the LGBT community, LGBTQ community
who have no
family.
Yeah.
We showcase artists, musicians, writers, anyone who wants to, jewelry makers. You know, we'll put your website on our website, and just it's all about visibility.
It is, because
Yeah.
I'm looking at your card right now, and the
Yes.
title on the very top of your card says "Visibility Matters."
Yes.
Now you hand out these cards when you meet people. And
Yes. Basically, if you don't feel safe handing out a card saying you're transgender, you could, especially if you're traveling and you're at a restaurant, put it in the billfold after you pay your bill,
Right.
and walk away. And then the waitress or waiter will come up to the table and it'll say, "Hi, you've just met a transgender person. How was it?" And they're going to say, "It was
that's
great."
Wonderful. I love that.
Visibility matters.
I'm sad to say that our time here is up, if you can believe it.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'd love to talk to you for a whole half hour, but you know, thank you so much. Once more with your website, please.
Yes, transgendervisibilitymatters.com. And if they want to donate a binder, they can always contact me at my email address, tlctrans, TLCTRANZ, at gmail.com.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much. We'll be back with more right after this.
New England Pride TV is brought to you by the Hanover Theater for the Performing Arts, Remax Vision, Bay State Savings Bank, Safe Homes, Joseph Gonzalez Dofrain, Boston wedding photographer, Paul Chasen Interior Design, Nuovo Restaurant, Dr. Frank P. Fetchner Plastic Surgery, Fallon Health, The Queen's Cups, This Week in Worcester, and Escape Games Worcester.
Hey Dale, it's me, Miss Lady Sabrina, and we're back with another letter. The content of the letter was way too personal, so I'm not actually able to read the letter, but I will read my response. Response to another letter. Okay, there's a lot to this. First off, sounds like the person you're with likes to live on the edge and cares little for the damage it brings to others' lives. He only cares as long as the thrill is achieved. You are putting a lot of energy into him and none into you. Your letter was filled with so much detail about him and so little of your needs that it's very telling as to how your relationship is structured. Even one of the situations you described would have easily ended this situation. You need to figure out why you put others first, even at the risk of your own health. Why the fact that the person who doesn't value your safety holds such a high place with you. Lastly, while you're going through the toughest point of your life, you are still putting him first, while he puts you third. I have had some personal experience with men like this, and I can assure you nothing you do will change a selfish man. They will continue to use you for the comfort of having someone and others for the pleasure. You need to be with someone that sees you as the total package, but to do that, you have to see yourself that way. You have to see this as an issue within you. You need to start to look within yourself and see where your fears live and why your fears of being without him allow you to tolerate the mistreatment from him. You are a person deserving of love, and to do so, it needs to come from within. My grandmother used to say, I'd rather be alone for the right reasons than with someone for the wrong ones. To do this, you're going to have to find someone in your area to help you do this. If you can't find anyone, let me know and I'll help you find someone. You are worthy. And you clearly have a lot of stuff kicking around in there and you need to go through it. And putting all your energy into someone who doesn't care about you will only prolong the road you have to walk to getting to a healthy place. I hope this finds you well. Love and light. Lady Sabrina.
We're joined now by the wonderful musician, singer, songwriter, Richard Davia. Did I say that right?
You said it right,
All
Richard Davia.
Welcome to New England Pride TV.
Great to be here.
Now, I met you about 2 years ago at an event, and even back then, I remembered you because you were doing so much good for the LGBTQ community and with fundraisers and your music. And so, you know what, let's just dive right into the music. How's that sound to you?
I love it. I love
all right.
it.
First of all, your band is one of your bands. You have
Yes,
two bands.
I'm in two bands.
One of them is called The Sound of Gravity.
Yes, The Sound of Gravity.
I love the name.
Thank you.
Did you come up with that?
I can't remember where it actually came from, but the concept of the music that we write and kind of share with the world is about pulling everyone together as opposed to pulling things apart.
Oh my God,
so
how
it's
profound.
Loosely related to that. So every song has that kind of undercurrent of it. So that's where the name came from.
Now, The Sound of Gravity, is that the band you play with when you do all the fundraisers and all the?
Yes, both actually. But The Sound of Gravity, I do shows that are fundraising based and some that aren't. But it seems lately most of them are.
Now you have Revel Fest 17 on your
Yes.
chest. Now, what does that mean?
Revel Fest 17 is a event that I produced and was the creative director for. I call myself the Chief Revel Officer of, and that premiered. It was the first time we did it at Revel Factory in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, which is a great event space.
And was that a fundraiser also?
It was a fundraiser for the Autism Project, yes. And we brought the kind of baseline concept of Revel Fest, and it will continue to be, is bringing the arts community, the music community, and the fashion community together and just have a rockin' show.
Yeah.
It's a little bit edgy, a little bit dark, a little bit different than, well, a lot different than most fundraisers.
Okay, all right, okay.
Not different than what I do with my music, but
Right.
it's different than most fundraisers, I would say, definitely. By design, and we had an amazing event. We sold out.
Yeah, I
We
heard you
raised-
sold out.
Yeah, we raised over that night alone over $4,000 in cash that went directly to the Autism Project's Camp Wanna Go Again, which is a summer camp for folks on the autism spectrum, and they do art and music therapy at the camp.
that's
so the
so
tie-in with
important.
us creating art and us
Yeah.
creating music was a direct connection to funding art therapy and music therapy.
Beautiful.
At Revel Fest. So we're doing it again in the spring of 2018. It'll be called Revel Fest 18.
And it's going to be again at the factory?
It'll be at Revel Factory
Yeah.
again, and we're working on our kind of beneficiary sponsor, if you will.
So it's not autism every year, it's different every year?
It'll be different every year.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you're also very involved with Pride events.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
do you perform at different Pride events?
Yes, I've performed at Providence's Pride Fest 3 times, I believe, the first 2 times I performed, it was on the, during the day in the day stage, and I did some acoustic performances. Last time, however, was a little bit different. We wanted to turn up the volume a little bit.
I love it. What'd you do?
So we brought the whole band and got the whole band together, and we actually marched in the parade and performed live in the parade.
You marched and performed live?
Yes. So we had in front of our, in front of the band was a roving DJ. So he was spinning our music. We were playing live over the music.
The music?
And then the cool thing about it all was that we were filming a music video.
So what was the music video for that?
The music video is for the song Superman. So the Superman, you'll be seeing a clip of it here, I believe. But that song is, it's a fun song, but at the kind of undercurrent of the theme of the song, you wouldn't know it unless you really read into the lyrics a little bit.
Well, I'll be reading into the lyrics.
Yeah, but it's a song about trans empowerment. So it's
trans empowerment.
Yeah, so it's a song about a straight man who fell in love with a transgender person and was just kind of having a little bit of a fling of that person with that person, and then ended up falling in love, and she became Superman and he became Superman. So that's what the song's about.
Who wrote this song?
I wrote the song.
Now, is this based in any kind of somebody you know?
No, it was actually I went to a club a couple of years back in Boston. I don't even know if it's still there, but it was a typical kind of drag show venue, and it was a lot of fun, but there was this undercurrent of a lot of men would go there and meet up with trans people.
Okay.
And I was fascinated by the interaction.
I would say that would be fascinating.
Exactly. So it just kind of sat with me, and I was just playing my guitar one day, and I was riffing out on a pretty cool jam, and I started writing lyrics that became Superman, about that experience, really. Wonderful. So it's kind of a fictitious story about what I would perceive the reality of that situation be.
And that video is going to be premiering, what, next year?
The video is premiering at a fundraising event in January of 2018. Okay. And the fundraiser is going to be in Providence, Rhode Island, at a date to be announced, at a venue to be announced.
Okay, to be announced.
And it's going to, and you'll find out all about that on thesoundofgravity.com. All of this information is on there. But the fundraiser will benefit Youth Pride Rhode Island.
Youth Pride Rhode Island, that's so so wonderful. Worcester, Massachusetts is very active with Youth Pride also. So cool. I've been getting more and more active in Youth Pride organizations, which is so important, and I'm learning so much.
The reason why I connected with Youth Pride was because of Pride Fest in Providence, actually, and the parade itself. So the Pride Fest in Providence, as you may know, is one of the only, if not the only, evening illuminated event parades for Pride across the country.
Did not know that.
It's super cool, super fun, and super electric. So the audience gets bigger and bigger and bigger every year. So we had this amazing built-in audience for us. Everyone loved every second of it.
And that's when you started filming.
That's when we filmed the video. And the reason why I wanted to do it during the parade was every time I go to the parade, I remember everything because it's so much fun, but I always remember Youth Pride's presence. Whenever they kind of turn the corner or march down the street, it just lights up the city.
It's energy and electric.
Wow. So my original idea was to kind of actually march with them and actually have a roving concert through the whole event. We ended up doing that without them. There were a couple of I think places behind us.
You in the parade.
But we were basically, we took the show on the road, literally.
Now, is it all original music that you do?
Sound of Gravity is all original music.
It's all original. Now, there's more than one band, I'm told.
I'm in a second band called Glamorama.
Glamorama.
Yeah,
oh my God. I love anything ending in orama.
Yes.
I love that.
As do I.
Glamorama.
So Glamorama is in its kind of formation stage right now, but we do have a show booked on, I hope I get this date right, it's a Friday night in November 17th, and it's a fundraiser for a homeless shelter in Rhode Island at the Biltmore in Providence, Rhode Island. If you're not familiar with the Biltmore, it's really our one of our number one hotels. It's a staple of Providence. So they have a beautiful ballroom. We're doing a great show there. And Glamorama is...
How different is Glamorama from
very different.
Sound of Gravity?
Very different.
Now, when I hear the name Glamorama, I think old 1970s like Bowie kind of.
You got it.
Really? Do I have it?
Close, close. And
Oh.
then we folded a little Motown.
Do you have like those glamour outfits on and the funky cool?
It's all happening, yeah.
wow.
And then we're going to do, we kind of have a Motown inspiration. We have the kind of rock and roll. It's basically big horns, big guitars, and big vocals, fronted by Joanna Casino. She's a female vocalist who is absolutely amazing and has been my dear friend. Pretty much we've been like this since 6th grade.
So was Glamour Emma a passion project?
She's in another band actually too. She's in a tribute band that's very popular in all of the New England area. But it was her idea, and yes, it was a passion project to do music that she loves and has been, really, impassioned for a long time, and has wanted to pull this project together.
So you finally got to do it.
So she reached out to me and a couple of other kind of musician friends of ours, and we've been practicing and rehearsing for about a month and a half, I would say now, putting the set list together, and we do our first show on the 17th on Friday at the Biltmore.
Now, speaking of passion projects, and this is a very interesting segue because I'm saying passion project, I'm going to talk about your partner or your husband.
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe owns a company that blew me away. It's called 1031 Productions.
Yeah.
He makes every event even more special and incredible. Would you call it like living sculptures? But it was so much more than that.
It is. The positioning is always evolving and always morphing, just like the characters that they actually create and represent. So their tagline is "We Make Pretend," and their website is wemakepretend.com. And 1031 is the name of the company. And 1031 comes from the date October 31st, which is Halloween, where everything gets transformed.
Of course. Why didn't I think of that? It's so obvious now.
Yeah. So the idea of human statuary and things coming to life through magic.
There were
is what
like
it's about.
7-foot tall trees or 8-foot tall trees, but there were people like moving slightly.
Yeah,
and
super cool. One of them might have been me.
I was just going to ask you that. Well, so you do that?
I do perform for 1031 now and again.
That's a grueling job because you literally have to. It's like inch by inch, right?
It is. It is. The way it's the way the actors are trained in that experience is it's if they were moving through water.
Now,
so if you're underwater and kind of evolving and moving at a slow pace, that's what you're imagining as you're performing for 1031.
And you truly are a Superman if you do that also, because that is not easy to do.
Yeah.
Now let's get back to Superman
Yeah.
for a second.
Superman.
Because we're going to have a little snippet
Nice.
of your
Thank you.
video titled Superman.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell us who's in the band really quickly?
It is Rick Benoit on drums and Luke Malino on bass, and we have backup singer guests all the time joining us, but Joanna Casino actually sings backup.
Is on that video?
She is not in the video, but a dear friend of mine, and her name is Capri, and you will see her featured in the video. She sings backup, as well as Dean DeLumba singing backup in the video
All
as
right,
well.
here's a little tiny teaser of Superman.
You're Superman. 6 o'clock in the morning, she's just passing her time. Should I stay or should I go? I just happen to have my one last flipping dime. Scent of amazing grace, how sweet that smell. Then right out of her lips, she tells me, go to hell. If you leave me or treat me like you don't even see me, ain't no cack up this tongue. And then she said to me, I guess you're not my type, but baby, just for a night, I can make it alright. Not even black kryptonite will keep me from you, babe, don't keep me from you. Let me be your Superman, your Superman. I guess you're not my type, but baby, just for a night, I can make it alright. Not even black kryptonite will keep me from you, babe, don't keep me from you. Let me be your Superman, your Superman.
I'm loving loving the teaser, so thank you so much. Thank you
Awesome.
so much for joining us today.
Thank you, thank you.
And
Give me
if-
a hug.
it-
Give me a hug.
Oh, wait a minute. You're going to ruin your mic.
Oh, hope so.
Now, if people want to find out more about you, they can go to Sound of Gravity.
It's thesoundofgravity.com.
.com.
Everything about our shows, everything about the band, everything about what we do for the community, and our music, most importantly, is there loud and clear. So,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now we're back with our segment called Out with Joe Mangiacotti and Teddy. What do you have for us this month?
Well, Dale, as we have done in the past, we will take a look at LGBT talent who's broke into the like we did with Amy T.
Yep.
And this month we're going to catch up with Justin Dearborn, who is an up-and-coming star on the music scene, as well as a producer, writer, and performer. He just performed last month at Worcester Pride as the main performer and wrapped up the show. So we caught up with Justin Dearborn, and he's certainly someone to look at. And he does, consider himself a performer who happens to be gay, not a gay performer. And that's what we find most of the talent
Terrific.
fails. So let's take
Let's
a
take
look
a
at
look.
Justin. Yeah. Welcome to New England Pride TV. This is Out with Joe. I'm Joe Mangiacotti. Of course, with me is Teddy, my companion. He's always with us. And joining me on stage at Beatniks in Worcester, Massachusetts, is Justin Dearborn. Justin, welcome to New England Pride TV.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. We've been taking a look at all kinds of talent, comedians, writers, actors, and producers like yourself. And I guess the question, and we'll get right to it, is how do you view your sexuality in the industry? Was it any kind of a hindrance?
I mean, honestly, I like to just look at myself as a recording artist. I think I don't really like to have labels. No, so I would say no.
No, it's not an issue. So you are a writer, singer who happens to be gay, opposed to a gay singer.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
That's fantastic. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. You're a young guy, but you've been at this a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I've been singing and writing songs since I was about 10 years old, so it's been a while, and I've been doing it professionally since I was like 17, so.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, you have a few songs out already, and when did you perform your first song? When did that first hit the scene?
The very first song, I think, was 2011, and the song was called Keep On Dancing.
And that's still one of the most popular songs you have.
Yeah, exactly.
Good to go.
Yeah, I still
Good to
actually
go.
do it for my shows now because the fans like it so much, so.
Okay. But the important thing is you just dropped a new single on September 1st. Tell me about that.
I did. The song's called Hypnotic, and it features a hip-hop recording artist, which I'm really excited to kind of add a hip-hop thing to the record. And yeah, I can't wait for everyone to hear it.
How would you describe your music? Because you said you wanted to bring the hip-hop aspect into it. So how would you describe your music overall?
So my music is always pop music, but I experiment with different subgenres like electropop, dance pop. Depends on the mood that I'm trying to convey, and depending on the song or like where I'm at personally and what I kind of want to express myself as. So.
Let's tell everybody where you can find the music to be able to download it and your social platforms.
Yeah, so you can check out everything right now. You can download everything for free, reverbnation.com/Justin Dearborn Music. Obviously Facebook and Twitter, YouTube, all of that stuff. So.
I'm going to have to ask you this before I let you go because I'm going to get asked this. It's going to get private messages. Are you single?
I am single.
You are single. So there's that, guys. We'll answer that right now up front. He is single. All right. Well, I want to thank you so much. I mean, I wish you all the continued success. This is a very tough industry that you've chosen.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. So that's great. Justin Dearborn. Check him out. We're listening. Teddy jams to it all the time.
He's the real superstar right here, this guy.
That's absolutely. All right, folks. I'm Joe Mangiacotti for Out with Joe on New England Pride TV with Justin Dearborn at Beatniks in Worcester, but you can find him all over New England. Now back to the studio, guys.
We've come to the end of another episode. Please don't be afraid to shine your light.
Because you might be lighting the way for someone in need.
That's right. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Tune in, show us you got New England pride. Show us you've got New England pride. Stand up, shout out, show us you got New England pride. Show us you've got New England pride. Shabba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-dee.